the agenda.
Sorry.
Okay, so I've got Bob in the motion.
So all in favor?
Yeah,
Yes,
Okay,
Approved. Okay, so the next item is we submitted the letter on, what was that, in October, or was it before that even, September? We submitted a
Yeah.
letter to the county council, a counter offer, and it was recorded in the minutes and on online.
was the plow, excuse me, just, were we doing the plow first?
We did that
Yeah.
already.
No, I thought I was approving the agenda
No, you just motioned to,
to approve the agenda.
oh, okay. 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 We're all in
So I just
favor?
had a couple of quick questions about the plow thing
Yeah.
too. Firstly, we're sure, so this for sure. Now we're talking about both a plow for the front of the truck, and then we were talking also a new bucket for the tractor. Are we approving both things or just one thing at this point in time?
no, I think we're just approving just the plow for the truck, Bob, because I don't agree that we need a snow bucket for that tractor. We've got
Okay.
enough attachments for that tractor, and we're just gonna, we're gonna overshoot some stuff here.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
And then as far as this snow plow for the front of, or the blade for the front of the truck. So for sure, this money can get paid for by grants, right?
Well, it'll get paid for out of our grant money that we've already received, yes.
Okay, that's fine. No, so
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't coming out of our general
No.
funds or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine. Okay.
okay,
So-
I'll just enter into that conversation a bit too. You know, for information, sometimes in the past that we used to have the roads cleared in the village Chicken Louis all the time. But the county road was not done until a day or two later, kind of deal. So, you know, in my opinion, the importance of getting it done fast in the village is important, but also if the county road isn't done, that's kind of a consideration. But I do agree with the blade on the truck. There's also another blade that hasn't been used very much, but there is a blade for the front of the tractor that is really quite sufficient, and it also turns. It's got a hinge in the middle of it, and it turns back and forth. So there's
Yeah,
also
that's called six-way adjustment.
yeah. So there's already the one for the tractor that you can really push some snow piles if you have to. We have that
Okay.
already.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to be clear in my head what we were voting on and that we are getting it covered for the grant money. So that's good. Yes. So I agree that we need that one. And I'll take Ed's advice and Lauren's advice on the tractor, because obviously I don't know what we've got there. So that's great. Yeah.
I think, Bob, once we get back and Ed back, then when you have time to come out to the village, then we'll take and tour you all around, all the equipment, everything we have, so that you have an understanding of some of how the operation works, right down to the the emergency generator and the fire what do you call the fireplace for the hall in case of emergency. We got a wood fireplace that rolls in there, and there's a lot
good.
of, so it'll take some time, but I think it'll be good for everybody.
No, I agree. I would like to know that because I still, yeah, no, I think that's wonderful, but, anyhow, I would be happy to make the motion that we approve the grant money for the plow for the front of the truck.
Well, we can't really approve the grant money, we can just approve the spending, but,
Or approve the spending or whatever, however the wording is, yes.
yeah. Okay,
Okay. All in favor? Yep.
Yeah, I do.
Yes,
okay. So.
sorry if I'm being a pain in the neck here, but I just want to.
You're not. You're not, you're not.
You're not, Bob. It's just getting into the workings of the village, and it's gonna take a little bit.
Yeah,
So that's okay. And Ed and I and Dean are there to give you all the information that you're gonna need.
okay, no, that's good.
Okay, what's next on the agenda, Dean?
Well, the next item is discussion about the County of Stettler's acceptance of our letter. And that was given by,
Basically, I was the one approached by Justin Stevens. He is a member of council for the county of Stettler. He let me know that afternoon after the meeting was over, that county did accept our offer of $40,000. And he also mentioned how it was going to be used, and it would be used on many more trips with the grader. And it will be calculated back and forth throughout the season, how things are gonna go. They might even, we might even get some money back if they don't need to utilize the grader as much as they thought they were going to. And also, he mentioned that if Paradise Shores, or whatever the name of it is, comes into effect, that we will be, they will be an account also with road use, and our monies could even go down lower every year. That's that they're requesting. And there will be a road ban going on. The same road ban will go back on when the usual road bans go back on in the spring, but they will be coming off before the long weekend in May, because they realize how busy the village gets. So they're taking that into consideration. My chat with Justin was very positive. It sounds like it's going to work really good for us, but we'll just have to wait and get their response to Dean before we can make any recommendations, or we know really what's going on.
Yeah, that basically, Ed, the other thing was that they may, if it's not used, they'll keep it in a reserve somehow, but I don't know how the wording's gonna be, so we'll just have to wait.
Well, that's what we're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, that's as far as I'm concerned, just the way Justin talked, he was very positive, and I felt good about how he was explaining things to me, so.
Yeah, and then also the other part of that is that the county, we're just dealing with from the truck fill station to Highway 56. The other part from the village to 835 is still going to have that ban on there.
Yes, they will still leave that ban on, and the reason for that is they do not want to have any more pressure than's possible put on their Bayview pavement.
Yeah,
So,
because just all, it was piss poor
yeah,
done, yeah.
Well,
Okay,
I think the 40,000 is money well spent, because if you start figuring it out, like if we have 4 residents, that's $100 a household. Well, we're all going to save that in the first pump out we have done, right?
well,
You know?
exactly.
I think, Bob, that's what I had always been thinking about after this agreement was kind of set, is, you know, $100 a lot per year, whether you have a place on there or not. as far as pump out, there's also people that have, you know, a empty lot, but they still have to pay for the infrastructure, you know.
Yeah.
That's as far as I know.
Yeah,
And you're right spot on with that $100 per lot. We used to have a tax, it was called special tax, and I think you maybe remember that. So that took care of things like the water commission. There's certain things that you can through the MGA that you can use special tax for, and one of them was the water, the fire authority, and now that road, like the 40,000, like that could all be put back into a special tax, but it would take some doing, because I know that it would be really extremely hard to do a budget with that special tax in there. So we did away with that a number of years ago. I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago. But it's really effective if you want to disperse the important things like water, and even if we had, you know, the roads on there and the fire, disperse that to every lot that is in the village. So that's another way that may be possible to do things, but I know it would be hard for Dean and the crew to do the budget, because it all kind of screws things up. But it's good.
well, my thought is basically, when we have to do something like this, I like to have talking points when somebody calls me, right? And I think that's what my talking point is. Listen, it's $100 each. You know, it's money well spent, especially for somebody that needs 2 pump outs a month, right? Or whatever, you know, somebody that, you know, that's a full-time resident or whatever. So I think this is a good talking point for if somebody calls you up and said, why are we giving the county $40,000? We say, well, this is how we looked at it, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly true. And it is, I think sometimes, especially in a small village like ours, the council members get more calls than administration sometimes on certain critical issues. And yes, we have to have a definite answer. And I think we all are in agreement. We'll all give the same answer if we get contacted.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what we really need to do is yeah, always giving the same answer is very important, so we don't, otherwise we get ourselves in trouble, right?
Well, I think that if we're gonna call this a special tax again, that when we do our taxes, we better mention what that special tax is for. Because that's one of the biggest questions people are asking. What is this special tax and what does it mean? Why are we paying that? Well, that should be wrote in there right up front.
Yeah, well, we'll do that in our budget, and we'll publish the budget documents for everybody, and list all of the items that'll be in the budget, and the special tax will be listed as a complete description. We can also do that in a newsletter prior to the budget being approved and the taxes going out, so everybody will be on the same page with the newsletter.
I agree.
And I agree with Ed too, because before, when that special tax was on there, people didn't know what it was about unless they were at the AGM and it was explained to them. But I think there's maybe a way, if council adopts that as a tax, because it's not there right now, that special tax is gone. So if that was a consideration, then it could be actually a possibility to document it on the tax form that everybody receives and what it's about. So it's a real, that's up for discussion at the budget meeting for sure. But I don't know whether that's a good idea or not. I just thought I'd mention it to you to give you some past history, how it was used.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And like we talked about at the budget meeting, but like I say, you know, people are going to be asking about, you know, why did we give the county $40,000? And, you know, we have a legitimate reason and explaining to them that by and large, it's going to save you money down the line.
Yeah, and I think we have to have some, see what the document's like, because to me, it can't be locked in, forever. Like negotiations on this amount every year, that's the biggest thing I was really concerned about, because if we start negotiating with the county, that'll just be a mess every year. I don't know. I think the way it's going, it's on the path of getting the county and the village back together on a path of agreeing with one another and helping one another. And I think that's the start of it. This is going to be a real good thing.
I think it was a wise decision by you guys like a month or so ago before I was on council to make this offer. So.
All right. Thank you, Bob. What's next, Dean?
So the next item is, Craig Maynard had asked for clarification about the DC designation of lot 21 and 22 of Horseshoe Lane, because there's a pending sale and the new possible owner that wants to buy the land, he wants to know that if he can build residential on the properties. And I looked at the land use bylaw and I sent it to Leanne, so she's gonna comment on it for council for the next meeting. But we don't have to rezone it. Council can make the decision on the direct control. But if council decides in the future that they want to rezone it, it's up to council whether they want to eat the cost of rezoning, which is basically our own internal cost, to change it back to R1. Because it'll just require a land use bylaw change for that schedule, to change those two lots where the store was back to residential. But the direct control gives council full control to allow them the flexibility to put residential back in there. It doesn't have to be rezoned before the sale. So that's what his request was, just to get clarification.
Well, I think that's already in there. I think, Lauren, that,
Yeah.
that,
It is in
Yeah.
the land use bylaw.
Yeah,
As
it's
first
there.
yeah,
And we had talked about, Ed, I know, remember Rosedale Grocery down in the west end there
yeah, yeah.
in Stettler? It would be the same thing. Like it was a residence and also they had a store in front, but now it's turned into just a residence, and that was past history. And so that's where we kind of took the example from when we did the direct control. So it's fine. He'll be fine.
Okay, that's good. So that was, there's no decision to be made on that, but he wanted a clarification letter. And so I'm gonna have Leanne, and I will discuss it, and she'll send him a clarification letter just to make sure that he's okay with the deal as it is, so that he can close the deals that are in place.
Yeah.
So, or close the real estate transaction anyways. So as long as council's all on board with that and everybody understands, then we're good to go. So,
Bob, do you have any questions on that?
No, not really. I think Leanne was going to set up a meeting to sort of explain the whole thing or whatever. So if I have any, no, I think I don't have a problem with it being a residential lot or whatever. And so no, I think I understand it.
Okay, thank you.
yeah, the only reason they put direct control usually in land use bylaws is if there's areas that could be converted into commercial enterprises. So the council has full control. It also could be used for multifamily residential and stuff like that. So if someone wanted to build a store plus a little duplex apartment complex or B&B or whatever, they could do that in that area without having to go through the whole rezoning process again. Otherwise, you have to put too many zoning categories in, and we're a summer village. We don't need dozens of zoning categories. We just need flexibility of the council to make a decision. So that's why it was put in.
I guess the one question, direct control means council control. Is that what that means?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
mean, Yeah, it means the SDAB or the subdivision appeal board or can also rule on it, but it also means the council has direct control over the property.
Okay,
As far as money, yeah. So that's it for the meeting, unless you guys have anything else. There was one other item that operationally that Lauren wanted to do in camera, so if we can go in camera. We just need a motion to go in camera.
I'll make the motion to go into camera.
Right.
Okay.